G'day, Mick here in the studio just after the recording. Little note up front, this episode is a special edition which we filmed to work out some processes for our stuff this year, so you're going to hear a lot more visual jokes than usual in this one. If you pop over to our YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch this episode and see the fantastic title sequence some genius made for it, but also the quality of the video is a bit off though because some dickhead messed up one of the cameras. I will not be taking any further questions on that matter at this time. Thank you.
Where the hell are we? On screen. Energize. On screen. Make it so. On screen.
Hello and welcome to How Much for Just the Podcast.
A very special visual episode of How Much for Just the Podcast because it's 2024 and it's going to be a very big year for Star Trek.
Yeah.
Well, we thought it was going to be a big year. It turns out there's three major events that's going to happen this year.
They are big events.
They are large events.
It is definitely a pivotal.
Pivotable.
It is a pivotal year in Star Trek.
I like pivotable.
Pivotable. Well, this
able to be pivoted.
But that implies the pivoting is optional.
Yes.
But we know that it did pivot.
By the way, I'm Damo.
I'm Mick.
We usually do that at the start.
Through the magic of editing, we did. The reason we are doing this episode,
aside from the reasons that we normally do an episode, no one's asked us to do this.
This is our special episode.
Special
episode. Because in our ridiculous attempt to watch Star Trek in universe chronological order, we have accidentally intersected with reality.
It was entirely on purpose and completely planned, I promise. We wouldn't do anything completely accidental.
Yeah. And that it is the year of our Lord 2024.
Your Lord?
Anyone's Lord. Pick a Lord.
The singer from New Zealand.
Okay. In the year of Lord from New Zealand, 2024, things happened in Star Trek, in universe.
Things have been mentioned in Star Trek canon that happen in the year of our Lord 2024, and we're going to talk about them.
And that's because the year we're in.
It's the start of year 2024, so this is the last chance we have to speak about them until it gets retconned out or it comes to pass in real time.
What's the chances of reality?
Well, let's get stuck straight into it because I'm pretty good, apparently.
What do we know that's happening in Star Trek in 2024?
So, the first major event, it mentioned in the Star Trek episode of the Star Trek The Next Generation, is the Irish reunification. That was the first episode that mentioned 2024 as a year that something happened, and it was the Irish reunification.
Which wasn't given a date in 2024, though.
No, it was just mentioned.
It was just like in 2024 it happened. So Ireland's got, as of time of recording, about 360 days to pull that off.
Roughly, approximately. Although, it's already sort of begun because, there was the news article earlier in the year where the Northern Ireland government and the Irish government have agreed that the British policy of reparations for the Troubles is fucking bullshit.
No.
Yeah, funny that. It's weird because Boris decided he'd put a line under it, said no, from this date no one else is getting reparations, and it's hang on, that's a bit fucked. Turns out the uniting thing amongst all Irish is a hatred of the British.
No.
Or the English particularly.
Yeah.
Because a hatred of the English. Let's just go with that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's something we can all get behind.
I think there's quite a lot of people with that in common.
No.
Turns out colonisation, not good.
No. Funny that.
Yeah. Who knew? So the Irish reunification may be on track. We'll find out.
Ireland, let us know in the comments if you pull it off. If someone from Ireland, if you just let us know in the comments if you reunify.
Yes. If you reunify, the only way we're going to find out is reading the comments.
Yeah.
I don't read the news. Who reads the news?
No, if you make a comment, I get an email.
Ah.
Good thing. What else have we got coming up?
The next thing, episodically, the next thing that appeared in an episode of Star Trek would be the Bell Riots.
which is of some discussion on the internet currently.
There's a couple of things being mentioned about the Bell riots. It's like every time there's a bit of upheaval about the homeless population in the US, of which there's a couple of homeless people in the US, it's a bit fucked. It's a bit of a fucked situation. And almost like the cost of living is a bit fucked at the moment too. So more people are going homeless. And that may cause some slight upheaval.
It may.
I hope it does.
Yeah. But that's due in August. That we
In
have,
August, did we decide?
Yeah, well, no, the Bell riots definitely are in late August, early September.
Because we looked, we couldn't remember if it was mentioned in the episode, but in Gabriel Bell's entry in Memory Alpha, it has his death date, and that's when Cisco, because he died. The original Gabriel Bell died saving Cisco and Co. from a robber. Spoilers.
No,
for
I mean,
20-year-old episode.
You should know by now that. I mean, unless YouTube's just played this for you, for some reason. G'day.
Hi, how you going? So, the Bell riots obviously was so the US is establishing in Star Trek canon, the US established sanctuary districts where they shove all of the homeless and ne'er-do-wells and people that they just want to forget about into the one little district and wall them off like some sort of camp that's been concentrated. So what could possibly go wrong there?
Indeed, nothing at all.
And in the real world, the US has sort of...
I don't think they're quite organised enough to build the walls.
No, but they have talked about making car parks into homeless cities. So it's like some sort of sanctuary district. Genius plan. What could possibly go wrong? What in fiction would have taught them that that's a bad idea?
Pretty much all of fiction.
All of fiction. All of common sense. Just putting a bunch of people that you want to forget about into one place so that they can rally and organise under someone named Gabriel or Benjamin. Hi, Ben! If you're watching this, I don't think he had much time to watch YouTube when he came back to 2024.
No.
He had some other shit going on.
They weren't allowed to get on the interface.
No, the interface.
Yeah, apparently you'll be watching this on the interface in the next
the
few
interface.
months, which is like the internet, but controlled by just one or two large corporations.
Yeah. So it's like some electronic books. I like some interface book. The interface being a large information sharing platform that's mainly controlled by 3 major corporations. That doesn't sound realistic.
No. Bit of a stretch there, Star Trek writers.
Oh yeah, like it's sometimes they get it wrong. So the third major thing, I suppose, the major event, brings us to the reason for the season's episode, is all of Picard almost all of Picard season 2, which when we began this podcast, we didn't realise we were going to intersect almost directly, exactly directly.
Yes.
With the events of that episode, which occur on April
12, 13, 14 a bit. It's most of it's April 12 and 13.
The
Los Angeles time zone.
Yeah. And the April 14 bit is just that bit at the end where they say goodbye to Q and then all travel back to the 25th century.
Yes.
So we will be exactly intersecting with April 12, 13 at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
Yes, we're doing this podcast live because our public demanded it.
No one demanded it.
No one demanded it.
No one demanded it.
But we realised that because our stupid little podcast was intersecting with reality during the comedy festival,
it was an opportunity that we could not miss. So we will be doing this live at Theory Bar on the 12th and the 13th of April at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Come along. There'll be dumb games. There'll be dumb prizes. There'll be dumb blokes talking about Star Trek.
In 2024, if you happen to be watching this in the future and in 2025, you missed it.
Bad luck.
Sorry. But I bet there's a recording that you can click a link on just there. No. I hate it when people on YouTube go, click that link there, because I'm almost always
This
watching it
link.
on my television in my lounge room.
Well, use your television remote to click on that. So this...
No.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would I want to watch something else? I'm already watching something.
Well, when this is over,
But then the link won't be there.
we'll
We'll put the link in the description.
link in the description. Which, again, you don't see on the television.
No, you don't.
You're not making this episode for you, are you?
No, I'm not.
So those are the major events. We've probably forgotten something. There's probably little mentions of here and there.
Oh, well,
Because
there's France.
there's France? Oh, yeah,
Like,
the France.
like, but mentioned in passing in DS9 is like, the situation in France is unsteady because there are students rioting the street, which has got to be the easiest prediction ever. Like,
I mean, what are the odds of the French rioting about something?
that's like your free square in a bingo card. It's just
really
like
is.
students rioting in France will happen next year.
Yes, yes.
I'm looking into the future. I predict in 2025 students will riot in France.
You're just doing the was it David Letterman did that? No, Johnny Carson did
I
that.
wasn't. I was kind of just like pointing at my head as if I was doing mental powers of some
Yeah,
description.
no. Like
it's
he did it with the envelope.
Oh well. Why don't I have an envelope?
I don't know.
Shouldn't
Go
you
get an
brought me
envelope.
Yeah. I'll just get our staff to bring me an envelope.
Yeah. Our intern, our unpaid intern. He's there.
Jean-Luc
Jean-Luc. And Noddy the bird. See, he's such a yes man, though.
Yeah.
Or woman.
Yeah. I don't see any genitalia.
No. Unless you count that. Whatever.
That's a nut. So yeah. Well, I suppose
He's got a nut.
He's got a nut.
He got a nut.
Why hasn't he got two nuts? Some sort of accident.
Some sort of accident.
Industrial accident. Anyway.
Pot plant has only got one nut. Anyway. So 2024 Comedy Festival, Melbourne International Comedy Festival. We'll be there live. I'm glad we're doing Picard season 2 there rather than as an episode. It's my least favourite season.
Well, and we know
Picard.
but at least we can knock it all off in one hit.
Yeah,
well, 2 hits.
2 hits.
So we'll break down Picard season 2 into 2 pieces.
Yep.
We'll do an A and a B.
Oh, we should mention as well. You're not going to find this under how much for just the podcast in the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, because let's face it, the name doesn't really scream Star Trek.
No.
It was like it's not the Star Trekiest. It's a very deep cut. We've discussed it before. If you go back and listen to previous episodes, you know why we've called it this. But also, it doesn't scream Star Trek. So if you're looking for us under the guide, it's going to be called Hailing Frequencies Open.
Hailing Frequencies Open will be a How Much for Just the Podcast special event
Yes.
held during the Comedy Festival, Melbourne International Comedy Festival 2024.
Yes.
So that's what's happening in Star Trek continuity in 2024. In real life in 2024, what's happening in Star Trek itself is also interesting.
A little
because
bit tumultuous.
There's a little bit of it's not quite eugenics wars serious.
It's not eugenics wars serious, but like if your concern is an entertainment franchise, it's a time of great upheaval in the Galactic Republic. It's a different franchise.
The dead have not spoken.
The dead have not spoken. Somehow Roddenberry returned. So the real world Star Trek, there's been some upheaval. All of the Star Trek movies in the United States have disappeared off Paramount Plus. They're now on HBO Max, or whatever the fuck they're calling it nowadays, because they've renamed it 3 times in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's all gone off Paramount Plus now, which Paramount Plus, when it was released, was billed as the home of all of Star Trek until they fucked off half of it and as a tax dodge. And now all of the movies, all of the movies except for the Kelvin movies, are all on HBO now.
What does Paramount make aside from Star Trek? What's on Paramount Plus now? I don't know because I've never subscribed to it.
I have subscribed, and I could not tell you off the top of my head. Like, it's because it's part of in Australia, it's part of Amazon,
Right.
and I've got Amazon, and so it all sort of appears as the one. So there's the Lord of the Rings series. There's Reacher. I think Reacher's on. I think Paramount Plus has the Frasier reboot.
Well, I'm sold. Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah. And here ends the advertisement for Paramount Plus. Checks. I'm sure the check's in the mail.
Video contains sponsored content.
So that's the first thing that happened. Also this year, or Christmas of last year, or Boxing Day, what we call Boxing Day, December 26th, Star Trek Prodigy moved from Paramount Plus to Netflix because obviously Paramount Plus decided to cancel the series. After season 2, they made season 2, didn't release season 2, then cancelled the series before season 2 came out. Whether it's successful or not, it was cancelled at Paramount Plus, and Netflix has taken up the ball and said, "We'll take it." And good on Netflix for doing that. So we should get a season 3. Season 2 is definitely coming to Netflix later on this year.
Right.
So that's going to be a good thing. We get to see the USS Voyager A. Robert Picardo's returning as the EMH. As the Voyager's EMH specifically.
I just want to listen to Jason Mantzoukas all the time. I don't care what he's in. I just want to listen to him speak. He's one of the people I just could listen to forever.
The other thing that may be happening this year in Trek that I'm personally not a fan of is the potential for WB, Warner Brothers, to buy out Paramount and therefore own all of the backlog of Star Trek, along with whatever else, or along with the Frasier reboot. Which I'm not a fan of because we know how Warner Brothers treats its existing properties. They have contempt for them. That's all they do. They're either money-making exercises or tax dodgers. Sometimes they're both. They shelved the Batgirl movie. The Batgirl movie, even if it was bad, it would have made money just because it's got the Batgirl label on it. I would have seen it even if it was bad. Then they shelved the Coyote versus Acme, which was like the pre-screenings, like the that they did for like investors and whatnot were all very highly regarded, all very it was being sort of touted as this generation's Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that sort of level of quality, and they just shoved it in a box. Warner Brothers has contempt for its properties. It has contempt for Harry Potter. It has contempt for its DC properties. I am a bit hopeful with James Gunn in charge of DC, by the way. It has contempt for the Lord of the Rings movies. It's just a money-making exercise for them. So the last thing I fucking want is to us finally get a green light for another Star Trek movie, like a big screen Star Trek movie, and for David fucking Zaslav to shove it in a box and never release it. If there's one person that I don't want in charge of Star Trek, it's Quentin Tarantino. If there's a second person that I don't want in charge of Star Trek, it's fucking David Zaslav.
Yeah, fair. If I could grant you your wish, I would grant you your wish. But on the other hand, maybe we can get Captain Kelsey Grammer back.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for more than a 30-second cameo.
Yeah. What was he captain of?
He was captain of the
Which one was he?
It was the ship that came through and collided with the Enterprise. I don't remember the episode.
Yeah, it was one that time loopy thing.
Yeah, it was the time loopy thing, and the only way out was through, or so. It was something, and like they kept colliding, and the ship blew up a bunch of times.
I think that's because like probably they only got Kelsey Grammer for one day.
Yeah.
So they just like filmed one scene and came up with an excuse to play it 7 times.
No, because Kelsey Grammer only appeared in the last bit. Like in the last bit of the episode when they didn't collide, they hailed the Enterprise.
That's right. Yeah, no, I was like, yeah. But he's out there in TNG era.
Yeah.
It was like he got brought forward in time, so he could be kicking around in the Picard era.
Captain Morgan Bateson was his character in Cause and Effect. Bateson's character lives on in the Star Trek universe and later appears in Star Trek's Lower Decks Season 3.
Did we miss a reference?
We missed a fucking Easter egg.
In Lower Decks? No.
I don't.
So did Kelsey voice it, or was it a
visual? I don't. It had to have been a visual because, like,
where
I would have noticed if Kelsey Grammer's voice was there.
Let us know in the comments how shit we are for not noticing that.
Actually, I think you'll find he was in Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3, Episode...
Guess I'm gonna have to watch Lower Decks again.
Oh, darn. I'm glad. That's one of the shows that I watch.
Yeah.
Like, that I've seen before that, you know, like I just enjoy having on in the background.
Yeah. I recently just did... I only just did a full rewatch of Strange New Worlds from like 1 through to current.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't done previously. I cherry-picked a few here and there. And yeah, that really did start strong.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that was like, oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's 100%. Like, I firmly believe that it has the strongest start of any Star Trek series.
Yeah, I think in a previous... Check out our previous episodes for some of our discussion on this.
They're not visual, though. You can't see our lovely countenance.
We do a lot of visual gags, though.
Yeah, you just have to imagine them. It puts the work in your hands.
Yeah.
So if you want to do some work, dive in. prettygrouse.com. Or find us on Spotify. Anyway.
Wherever good podcasts are sold. No, see, that's a funny joke because podcasts are free except for the ones you have to pay for, which aren't podcasts. They're just fucking files you down. Like,
nah. There was one more thing that I was going to mention for the good things coming up for Star Trek 2024. We've got a new series of Prodigy. We should have a new series of Strange New Worlds. And potentially production should start on the Starfleet Academy series.
Oh, yeah, that's the future timeline.
Future timeline.
Yeah, again, I'm not a big fan of doing things that far in advance of canon. But,
no, true. But look, I'm because I was disappointed that Discovery is finishing up. Discovery is finishing up this year as well. I'm looking forward to season 5, but also I'm not looking forward to it ending because I'm quite enjoying it. It's really hit its stride.
I'm mainly not looking forward to Discovery ending because it sounded like it came to them as a surprise during production.
Exactly.
It wasn't like a planned end.
Exactly.
And so I think it's always going to feel a bit like it's left hanging.
Yeah.
I would like them to say, you have a full season to bring it to a close.
Yes.
Not, you know that episode you're filming right now? Yeah, that's the end. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's anyway. Like that's neither here nor there. Yeah. Netflix pick up Discovery. Anyway, because Netflix was instrumental in the beginning of Discovery. Like they were the international distribution. Like in Australia, we first watched Discovery on Netflix.
Yes.
So maybe bring it full circle and get Netflix to do a season 6. I don't care. But as I understand it, from my understanding of what's happening with Starfleet Academy, is they're going to be carrying over at least one character from
Tilly's
Tilly.
Yeah, Tilly's hanging on, and Tilly that's a big win. Tilly's awesome.
Tilly is great. This is one way that I tell if a Star Trek fan on Twitter is a fuckwit or not is if they don't like Tilly. If they don't like Tilly, they're wrong.
Yeah. I think that one of the best things about Tilly is like regular Tilly and also Mirror Universe Tilly.
Killy.
Are both good.
Killy was fucking, yeah.
Yeah, when you can actually have someone whose Mirror Universe counterpart actually has some kind of impact beyond, it's just like them doing the opposite thing with a goatee.
Yes, yeah.
She should have had a goatee.
She should have had a goatee. She would have in Space Tradies. Again, sometimes maybe we shouldn't be making this show.
But yes, Admiral Tilly running Starfleet Academy. I assume she's been promoted to Admiral.
Surely.
I presume she's just running the entirety of Starfleet.
It seems like there's only about 12 people in Starfleet in the 29th century, so, it's like it's going to be her or like one of 3 other people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, just put Tilly in charge of everything, it'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the good things that are happening in Star Trek this year. Along with another good thing, Comedy Festival.
Oh, right.
I was giving you a lead in to plug our show.
I thought there was some more good news. Okay, there's not. Every other bit of news sucks. But we're doing a show at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival because reality has intersected with our stupid watching the show in chronological order during Comedy Festival.
So we will be performing this, something akin to this podcast live on the exact dates that Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Seven of Nine, and Raffi travel, and Rios. Who else? Was it just the 4 of them? Oh, and the Borg Queen.
And the Borg Queen, because why not?
So we'll be. It wasn't the real fucking Borg Queen. Don't get me started on the show. Anyway, so we will be recording something akin to this on the exact date on which Jean-Luc Picard and co. return to 2024 to bugger us around with Q.
If you'll be in Melbourne during the Melbourne International Comedy Festival 2024, I bet there's a link down there in the description somewhere where you can buy some tickets.
And if you won't be in Melbourne, but you know someone that will be, once again,
buy some tickets. They'll be cheap. I think with like $15 or something.
Yeah, 15. I was going to say 20. Yeah.
No, I said $15. I think it's $15.
But yes, prizes, games.
Maybe guests. Maybe guests if any of our mates want to come. We'll find some idiot.
We'll rope someone in off the street. There'll be a couple of comedians floating around Melbourne in April, I think, that will be keen to promote their own bullshit.
Yeah. Or who just like talking about Star Trek.
Yes.
For no reason.
Who would do that? Talk about Star Trek for no reason and then record it and put it on the internet. What kind of a moron would do something like this?
The only thing more unlikely than that is someone who'd listen to it.
Engage. Mr. Worf, throw him in the brig.
How Much for Just the Podcast is a Grouse Media production. The theme music you heard was the Picard rap by Nikolai Kingsley. For all links to our stuff, we have lots of stuff, go to prettygrouse.com.
Where the hell are we? Where the hell are we? Transporter room 3. Engage. I'll go. Energize.
Corporations controlling the means of communication.
No, that would never happen. By the way, like and subscribe. And hit that little bell button, and then you get notifications. I can't believe I just said that. I hate when YouTube videos say that. Click the little bell button so you get a notification when we post blah, blah, blah. Fuck off. I know how YouTube works. Every time someone does that, I don't press the little bell button.
That'll show them.
That'll sure show.